A huge shout out to the overthinkers. An overthinker. He watches the show. To the overthinkers. Shout out my friend too. Shout out my friend too. Thank you, overthinkers.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamelo ubuchopho ngeke buphume buyakhula izinja nikho yazini as-overthink isiyaovershanikho yazini as-overthink isiyaovershanikho.
Stolen that one. I'm stolen it.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host, and this show is a place where we can speak football. A place that we can look at our local game and really ask some tough questions about whatever it is we see. We are currently in the middle of international break. So while the show is on every Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m., when we do have these type of shows or these type of weeks where the international teams are playing, whether it be Bafana, Banyana, or even some club teams, Chiefs, Pirates, mamelodi, Sundowns, Banyana Style, UWC in the Champions League, we will be here watching the games and you'll be able to find it. So if it's your first time watching the show, welcome. But please feel free to jump in. A very, very, very interactive show where you get to speak to me and I get to speak to you. And you do that by pressing the multi-guest button at the bottom of your screen. You have to be following me on TikTok for those who are watching on YouTube if you want to lend your voice to the show. All of the shows are then on YouTube. They're in full on YouTube. So if you want to see any of the previous conversations we've had about any of the topics that we've been speaking about, it's not just reviews. You'll be able to find them over there, guys. Today's topic is very simple. South Africa, Bafana beat Congo 5-0 in an AFCON qualifier, meaning that they're only 3 points away from qualifying for an AFCON. Back-to-back AFCONs. It's been a while. Hugo Bruce is working. The stats were as follows. Obviously, the score was 5-0. And then, of course, South Africa had 13 shots versus Congo's 10. On target, South Africa had 8 on target versus Congo's 4. 66% of the possession, and then 525 passes completed versus Congo's 275, which means in the group right now, we are sitting number 2 behind Uganda. All teams have played 3 games. Uganda's got 2 wins and a draw, which means they've got 7 points, and we've also got 2 wins and a draw, which means we've got 7 points. Mara, equal difference, it plus 6. I believe right now we are the highest scoring team at the AFCON. Going into the game, we were behind Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. So that is very, very good news. And a 5-0 is always good. When last, guys? When last did Bafana do that? Tomorrow, we're going to be watching the live game, the second part of this. They're going to be playing in Congo to try and get that 3 points to get through. So we'll also speak about some of those things. So feel free to jump in and let's have a conversation about this here football that we love. Let's see, Lindo. Lindo, man. Today. Did you hear? Today. Okay, guys. So please feel free to jump in. I'm gonna do 4 panels. So four panels of people are gonna be able to jump in, and we'll have conversations about this here topic because our national team is doing so well, right? We're also gonna speak a little bit about Aboref, man, and the staging of the game and how it had to pause for a little bit. We're going to cover all of those things. Papa BK, welcome. Okay, let me open up for the first panel. Guys, can we get to 50,000? Kupa 50,000 likes, guys. 50,000 likes. So please tap the screen. It is free. And then, of course, man, there's a gift goal. So, man. So please tap the screen. It is free. Hey guys, please meet when you come in. Sometimes when you come in, there's a little bit of an echo there. So please look out for that. Just let me know, those in the comments. How do I sound? Is the sound okay? I know there was a little bit of an issue previously. So I just want to find out if I am audible and everything is fine. Okay, let's see. Guys, Piwe. Natsuwinile, Chiefs, it's win a trophy. Nomsa, how are you doing? Okay, let me start off with Tyler. Tyler, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Hey, OT, thanks so much for having me. How's you doing? How was your weekend?
we just won a trophy that says Africa at the end. So we're basically continental champions. I mean, who knows? Tyler, South Africa, Congo, 5-0. How did you feel about this game?
I think first of all, OT, I think we need to first praise the coach of Bafana, Hugo Bros. Since he has started May 2021, he has transformed the Bafana into a winning team. You can see people are responding to that. Stadiums are getting full. He took us to AFCON. We won the bronze medal, disjointed team before that, before he came in, people were not praising Bafana. They didn't like anything that is associated with Bafana. It was just bad news. And he won us the bronze medal. 37 games he played, 19 wins, 12 draws, 6 defeats, and I think is regarded as one of the greatest after Clive Barker, and he's still going strong, and also, man, I think we also need to give praise to Patrice Motsepe and the Sundowns for investing heavily on those players, because when I looked at Bafana, out of 11 players that are playing there, there's about 7 players that are playing for Sundowns. Mokwena, Modiba, Zwane, Williams, Obas, Reinas, Kekana. 63% of those guys are playing for Sundowns, and only 37% is playing for other teams. So let's also give praise to that guy. Looking at the game itself, I was very, very impressed with the level of fitness of those guys, I think that also played a huge role in that game, because you had about the first 4 players pressing in to Congo, and as a result that has forced Congo to play in the wide, especially in the side of Umudao, and so they never had to penetrate the middle of the park. They were just playing sideways most of the time, and even when one player gets the ball, Congo, there's 2 players closing in, and Williams was very, very, very key in our build-ups. You look at the first goal, he pushed it up to find Muda, who was drifting up. Mudao finds Ulenduga, Utemba Zwane finds Mokwena, and Utemba Zwane almost scored, and then that presses the team to be Ulenduga, the goal, Ulenduga, not the free kick on the side. So, and then Ulenduga, Mokwena scores the first goal. And I think we need to also praise Mokwena on this game, and Ilenduka game plan a coach, because he told him, when we're in defense, you need to play 6-6 with Obas. When we're in attack, you add numbers as an 8 to assist to Utemba Zwane. And the second goal, you see him playing 1-2 with Ulenduka, Apolis there, and then he just plays the ball in, kicks it in, because of the work that he has been doing. So when you attack, you get 5 players attacking in: Zwane, Apolis, Mokwena, Light Forster. Mokwena, I think for me, he needs a bit of work, but he's not giving us anything ever since he played well there in Northern Africa. But after that, he's not giving us anything. I think Ulenduka Saleng can do better in that position. I think Ulenduka, with his experience, Uloch can do better in that position. Yeah, man, I think, for now, those are the pointers.
Guys, please mute. Can I ask you something, Tyler? How do you feel about Hugo Bruce's comments about Umkwen? And maybe not understanding why he's on the bench. How do you feel that gets to Mangoba?
Obviously, he's trying to pass a message there, because that boy is an asset. I think I did allude to you a couple of weeks
to say when you are benching Mudau and you're benching Mokwena, you're hitting the national team, and you're trying to send a message to him to Guti. You cannot bench these two boys, because they add significant value to my team. And as I was saying to you earlier on, 63% of the team is made up of Sundowns players, and the key player there, one key players is Mokwena, because they build everything around that. Because I was analyzing, breaking it down to you, how is utilizing Mokwena, for Bafana to be effective and going forward. What the work that guy is doing, the work that boy is doing when they're defending. Even in AFCON, he was one of the critical component of Bafana. You cannot manage a national asset like that, and then you cite all sort of things.
For time, I'm going to bring on Conti Cornelius. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Brauti and everyone, good evening. I'm fine, thank you.
Man, it's always nice to have you this side. Man, I'm a cup winner, man. Conti, tell me, South Africa 5-0.
I just wanted to first congratulate Amakosi. I think it will bring confidence within the team, and it's good for the boys.
Tell me, Conti, 5-0, Bafana. Yeah. How did you feel about that game?
I think that game, it wasn't surprising. The first 11 of Hugo Bruce was consistent. We knew that when Sithole Yaya wasn't there, Mbata was gonna come in, but Mbata also got injured during MTN 8. So we saw Obas also coming in, and Obas was part of the preliminary squad. So we were all not surprised, because Obas also played previously. So you can see the team that Hugo is consistent, and he doesn't really change much. He believes in his troops. And I was very impressed with how the boys played. They combined, and I just want to touch on the set pieces, the goals that were scored by Obas and Mokwena, the corner kicks. You can see that those were not mistakes; they were planned, because the set piece specialist is coming from Sekhukhune, and if you can check Sekhukhune, they score a lot of goals with set pieces. So that guy, I think, is Mila, his surname. But so he's also part of Bafana. So you can see he's doing quite some good job, because those set pieces, if you would look at them, Thembas one was drawing defenders as if he's going to collect the balls, and there was a space there on the near post. So Apollis give it to Apollis for playing those balls. But I just want to touch also on one player, Luke Leroux. I didn't hear anyone speak about this player when he came on. Wow, what a player! I think Flemingberg. I sent a message to one of the seniors at Sundowns that, please, if we're not gonna get Jaden Adams, let's go for this boy. So yeah, I think that boy, he's got a bright future. What a boy! What a player!
Send them a message so they can come onto the show. Conti, let me ask you, what has Hugo Bruce changed at Bafana? Because when we look at it, it's not necessarily that much of a tactical change. We've seen them play transitional football at times. We've seen them play defensive and win. We've seen them play Mahopa target man. We've seen them win Kari set piece. What has Hugo Bruce changed at Bafana according to you?
I think what Hugo has changed a lot is the mentality, the winning mentality, and the players have got sort of they gel together. If you could see even Sibisi of Orlando Pirates, when you see him with other players, he gets well with them. He's not playing, he's not, showing his face down. So I think what is brought is the brotherness together, and that is very important. So also what I've seen with Bafana, you're talking about the Makopa sort of ball where we saw Williams playing the ball to Makopa, and he would evidence Makopa, you lay them down, and where we would also try and play from the back. I think that type of football where we would play to Makopa, I saw a team that was coached by Ancelotti, Everton. That's how they used to play. So I think he's combining some sort of direct football and combination of how we like to play here in South Africa. So what Hugo has been doing is very good. And over the weekend, what I saw a police going too wide. And I mean, I saw Mokwena trying to go too wide. But also, when Motaung was going also on the wide, Mokwena was a bit confused, not really knowing what to do. So, but when we are doing counter-attacks, Mokwena was taking diagonal runs. That was good. But when we are playing combination ball, Mokwena is a bit confused. I think that's where we would need somebody using the left foot and who could be an inverted player. I think Tito as well at Supersport, he played as an inverted winger. So I don't know why he doesn't try him there. But also, the next best player who could play there, it could be Saleng. I know Ribeiro is not South African, but that would have been best option. But I think Saleng could give us a good option there if Pesitau doesn't come back.
I wanna use your last minutes just to ask you about the front four. How do you feel about them? Because we see them play well in transition, but like you said, Mokwena gets lost a little bit. I think Apolis was dragged a little bit further wide than normal. Tembazwane is an 8 now. He's becoming more of an 8. How do you feel about the front four and how we create our chances in open play?
Well, what I saw is that our front four, they played very good. And I saw something about Lyle Foster. Lyle Foster was drifting a little bit, trying to go and collect the ball, which in other games I didn't see him do that. And if you checked our second goal or the Mokwena long range goal, Lyle Foster drifted, and the two central defenders, they didn't know what to do, which gave Mokwena a sort of a space there when they were playing it around. So that is a combination of triangles where is the first time I saw that, where our striker is trying to sort of come deep and trying to open up and play in pockets. And also, like you say, Tembazwane was coming too deep to collect, and it allowed him to dance a little bit. But yeah, I don't know if going forward it's a good idea for him to come too deep, because if we lose the ball there, we'll be getting punished, and we were not really tested in this game. So I think our front four is very good, but like I said, I'm not sure of Mokwena if going forward he would give us that thing that we really need, that firepower to finish up. So I think maybe Hugo, if he can try somebody like Saleng. Saleng has been scoring goals, has been doing well, and we need somebody who's using the left foot who could cut inside. Yeah, I think that could work for us. But someone who's already part of the squad, he can try Tito in that right, and Tito can cut inside. I remember Tito last year in the MTN 8, he used to play some diagonal balls. Yeah.
Thank you, Conti. Let me go to Kamu. Kamu, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Mr. Oti. How are you?
I'm Naki Minati. Kamu, South Africa beats Congo 5-0. How do we feel about this game?
Oh, that was a beautiful game. And I think one of the greatest things I like about the new South Africa is the mentality. I mean, right from the starting minute, you can see the intention from each and every player. The commitment, I think, as the question you had posed to the previous speaker, the commitment is what sets this Bafana team apart. And it's a team that you don't want to play against just because of the mentality first. Before talking about the personnel and the types of quality which each player possesses, I think they're incredibly committed, and you can see it whether on the ball or off the ball. I was actually looking at Mokwena. You remember just before he scored that goal, he had come out of that 50-50 challenge with the Congolese player, and we were a bit scared and thinking, is he going to be able to continue? But he was intercepting the passes, he was tackling, he was doing all these things, kind of saying, we are going to go fully in this game, and we are going to work whether on the ball or off the ball. But what I think I enjoyed the most is that South Africa had a varied approach. There were times where they played the interpassing triangles, either it's Mudiba, Zwane, and Apolis on the left-hand side, or Zwane also drifts a bit to the right and tries to play it with Mokwena and others on that side. But they could play the interpassing game. But whenever the Congo players went to sleep, they could always get that diagonal pass. They could always get that pass behind the defense, like the Lyle Foster's goal. We were in possession, quick thinking from Apolis, plays that beautiful ball over the defense, and we get that goal. So I like the fact that we were not easy to tame, in that you know that, okay, if we maybe we hold back a bit because we know they're going to try interpassing, then Bafana is dead. But they're able to always change the game plan and the ideas at any moment. Stellar performance from Tambazwani, the Tambazwani that we know, dancing, controlling the game, beautiful 2 assists from Apollos. And I also like the fact that we are able to score from set pieces, as the previous speaker had said. I think that makes us a dangerous team, because in some games, we are going to not be able to play the way we want, but we're going to need to be able to finish off those kind of opportunities. I liked it also on Mokwena. I think he needs to do a little bit better, but I didn't think he had an off game. I did think he had moments of promise where he did show a bit of what he can give us, but he has not been able to give us his full performance. But I think it was a beautiful performance. I really enjoyed it.
How should Bafana approach tomorrow's game? We're going away to Congo. They might be a little bit scared because we've already clapped them 5. How do you feel about how Bafana should go into tomorrow's game? Should they go for the kill? Should they play it easy? What do you think they should do?
Go for the kill. Finish off the job. Let's get our 3 points and then be through to the next round, so that potentially we can start thinking about trying new combinations, trying to see how Bafana can play without our core players in the last 2 remaining matches. So if we use this match to kill it, get our maximum points and goals, and then we know that going forward, although we know that Bruce is a bit strict and disciplined in his approaches to games, maybe we might be seeing a little bit more of other players which we have not seen a lot. So I think if we kill off tomorrow's game and go into the next games with no pressure, but just also trying to give other players a chance and kind of get them used to the system that we are playing, and then I think that would be the great approach.
How do you feel about Bruce's words when speaking about Mokwena?
You know, the Mokwena and Motaung issue is a big one, because I think we've all been speculating about what was the reason behind them not being played. Because if you remember, the first 2 MTN 8 matches, actually they played against Polokwane. They played, I think, against Stellenbosch as well. It was only after that match that I think they dropped them. So there was a lot of speculations about what led to the reason to them being dropped. But if it's discipline-based, as Mangoba sees it, I don't think it's very accurate or correct for Bruce to kind of get into that terrain. For the simple reason that he also dropped Adams for disciplinary issues. Adams was coming from a wonderful performance in the MTN 8 final, but because of the disciplinary issues, he was dropped. So he's trying to stamp his authority to say, if you're going to be in my team, you need to follow the rules and you need to do what everybody else is doing. So if Mangoba does feel at Sundowns that there were certain players which were not living up to that standard which is set for all the other players, he's within his right to implement the disciplinary measures. But of course, we understand the importance of a player such as Teboho and Motaung in Bafana. So we would all want for them to be able to be regular players at Sundown, so that they are match fit, and whenever the duty calls for the country, they are able to come in and continue to dish the stellar performances.
Maybe, can I ask, should this have been a behind-the-scenes conversation? Maybe between Bruce and Mangoba? Because saying it out loud, lastly, Rulani was the Mourinho of the country.
Perhaps, but we know that Bruce does not hold back. That's been his approach. But sometimes I think it might help to show a bit of difference and allow other people in their spaces to be able to exercise their rights. But I think that's the way the old man is. He always speaks his mind. And sometimes I think, based on the interpretation of the person who's being spoken about, it might come across as a bit arrogant or as interfering with their businesses as a team. But I think he's also trying to not lose his key players due to not being regular players. But I think a bit of difference should have been shown, and perhaps a more behind the scene conversation would have helped.
Okay. Let me bring in Vuyo. Vuyo, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, my brother?
I'm Mnandi Vuyo. Nice, South Africa. It's a Chisampama versus Congo. How do you feel about that game?
OT, what is Congo, bruh? We can't be extra happy for a Congo. When last did they qualify for AFCON? I know, man. It's just a normal team, country, Congo. There's nothing we're expecting. OT, be honest.
Yeah. Marawa sikora 5 Mara.
Sisitholele nje sishayisene ne5. There is nothing that important esiyenzile wow. By the way, OT, congratulations ukuthi uwinile izola out yami. Ngabe siyakungena awufudliwe. Those are the facts. Hey, we winning. It doesn't matter ukuthi ubani uthi khaphe njani akusiwo kwakhe lo. Udwadla va. Another thing engifuna ukisho. The credit must go to Mancoba Mngcithi. Well done, Coach Mancoba, to keep Mokwena outside the field. Sundowns is bigger than Mokwena, ne? Sundowns has been running. It's been running without even Mokwena. So even he was even not born, Sundowns was running. Angeke sibuso Mokwena. If Mokwena disrespects the coach or doing something that is gonna disrespect the team, you need to be disciplined like anybody else. No one is bigger than Sundowns. Remember, it's not the first time Sundowns you can be coach. Kuhambe coach Pitso Mosimane, we never get disrespected ngale ndlela le. We never. Nhlobonke Kane was there, was leading the team with discipline. Those players, they deserve credit. We will never allow any player at Sundowns disrespect any coach. You are at work. If I'm work at Clover, my CEO decide to resign, mina ngizange ngaqashwa i-CEO, ngqashwe i-company, I must respect the policy. This is your career as a player. We don't care ukuthi Mokwena uperforma kanjani. We are happy ukuthi he's hungry now, he's playing now. Not lento bekayenza OT all along. We pay a lot of money for Mokwena, by the way. Mutabela Park Sundowns. So if he doesn't want to perform, someone else is gonna perform OT. And in January we're gonna sign one of the best foreigners midfielder. Watch the space. But Asiko up.
How do you feel about Bruce's words then? Because maybe he's making it seem as though Mokwena is bigger than the team, and now Nimdalisi, Melangen, I don't understand. How do you feel about what Bruce said?
Unek papa na Bruce wako lo. Unek chacharaka. Ukanti sikhohliwe ukuthi yena lo bekabe kuthemba zwane ngaphandle zanga qualify for i World Cup. Ucabanga ukuthi sikhohliwe. Ase uselecta ama player even anga perform. Uniko mobile oyikhazini yakhe, angazi ikhazini yakhe ngumntanakhe. So siyamazi naye lo unekuba out lo. Indaba zakhe siyazazi. Uyaphapha. There's no need ukuthi usho lento le. If Mokwena ka disrespect coach naye uyenzile manje nangu ujikisiwe because of discipline. So ubani coach ozo allow you play ngekho discipline. And Mokwena, it was discussing because of Mokwena was a captain of the team. Ubhizi uyahlishitheka lapha ku media wenza izinto ezisnacks nje. Even ihambile coach OT, you stay professional. It doesn't matter ukuthi kuhambe bani. No mushonelo, you stay professional. Usemsebenzini. Remember uthi career yebhola iyaphela ne? Kusasa wena ungafuna umsebenzi somewhere uthole ukuthi le coach leni yakukhumbula ukuthi ngeke ngasebenzana nawe grand out yamozo uzoba assistant coach. Siyibonile lento le isikhathi nesiningi. You don't. Mokwena mdala, it's an adult. You can't act like ungatuna 16. I was very disappointed with this boy. Very disappointed. Actually, Sundowns ngabe mlona out man from first division for the sake of pride yakhe and ego. We Sundowns, we're gonna win. We're gonna win OT. This boy, he can't. It's not the honor of Sundowns. Okay, Kane never done this into lazy. We never OT. We have a coach. Ehambile Sundowns. Win ama trophies. Not a trophy one. He win all kinds of trophies. Pitso Mosimane. We never be disrespected with the kind of performance and whatnot. We are very, very angry for those boys. But unfortunately, it's football. Okay. We will be happy with the performance that he is doing now.
Kusasa, must Bafana be professional when they go and face Congo? Do you think it's going to be a different game? How do you think we must approach that game? Do you think Congo is going to change anything?
Yeah, it's away OT, so they need to be more professional. Whatever they're gonna take, they must come back with a win because of we can't draw with Congo. The group that we are in OT, there is nothing. By the way, those are the facts. Those teams, they are nothing OT. Like Tina Sibiang semi-final, it's easy. By the way, it's fine. But OT. We need to take point as fast as we can. Yeah. We need 3 point success. Even if it's 1-0, it's fine. Just take the 3 point and come back home because we need to qualify as number one, not as a runners-up or whatever. Because which group who can qualify like that? Because that group OT, there's nothing. After next. Akuna next out yam. Hey.
Okay. Thank you, guys, to the first panel. Guys, Tata Scream, please listen to KG there in the comments. Tata Scream, we're trying to get to 50,000, but also there's a little goal over here. Please. Okay, so I just want to say before I let the next panel in, guys, there's a timer for a reason, so please respect your fellow people on the panel. I give you some time just so that we can have these conversations. I can give you something without getting into other people. So you're going to get your 5 minutes, say what you need to say. I'll ask you a question or two, then we'll go from there. The only thing I wanted to say was with regard to Hugo Bruce, I don't mind him feeling that way about Mokwena. I don't mind him thinking that Mokwena shouldn't be benched, he should be playing and all of that stuff. My issue with Hugo Bruce has always been, why come out in public and say these things? Because now you are bringing in a third party who has nothing to do with what you guys are doing at the national team, and you have nothing to do with what they do at the clubs. And the reason why is, let's say the relationship, whatever happened, I don't even want to speculate on what happened. Whatever happened, now maybe they're mending it. He's now on the bench now. And then now you come out and say, these players should be. What does that do? How does it look when he celebrates? Now you've brought in another coach. Umangoba is going to have to answer questions. Remember what he said about Chiefs, for example. And then he had to backtrack 2 weeks later because it was lit and everybody was complaining. Now Unseki Wabantu, he was in fires, the Kaizer Chiefs. Now he has to deal with more fires because of what was said by Hugo Bruce. So I think that's the only thing I don't like about him, that once things become public, it's very hard to control where things go from there. And you guys, please mute when you come in. Glenn, please mute, guys, please mute. Once you let things go out into the public, you can't control what the public is going to do with that and whether they're going to respect you and your wishes or they're going to understand you or whatever. Some people will see that headline and go fight. They'll see the headline, they'll see Mokwena celebrating, they'll put 2 and 2 together even when 2 and 2 is not coming together, and it becomes a whole nother thing. But anyway, a whole nother panel. Kumo, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm awesome, thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
Man, Kemnati Kumo, 5-0 South Africa versus Congo. How did you feel about the game?
When last because guys, let's talk about the mentality here for a second.
Please mute there, Sipo.
When last did we as a nation expect more from Bafana? When last did we as a nation wanted Bafana to score, being angry, expecting Bafana to win every and be ruthless? It's been a while. I can't remember when. The fact that we showed respect to Congo, not Zaire, but the other one, we gave them a good lashing at home. It did wonders for our goal difference, even though we second based on head-to-head, but it was still a respectable, professional display of football. Yes, we can nitpick your Mokwanas, there and there, but overall, it's 5-0. Even France, when they played against us, they showed no mercy. We also got the same scoreline, and they did it. Yeah, we can't even compare to them, but they were professional. But I just want to add on to what Voyo said. Olastaha mokalabo. Olastaha. Lebila Mokwena. If we auto continue got this trajectory, Reto Misa go Tigers. I would say gift mutuba. Otle dala SBC League, ABC Motsepe League. Agree na no so regular weekly so no register. Star again marola fulena all star what so man it's a huge institute, man. Stars come and go. It's very difficult to point out a star or a star most Sundowns. Yes, Mushishi again, like you can't do anything Guyana, but it's fine. Kilama follow more for attention. And this thing he's sending a message, he's sending while he speculate or get message. The guy like he was just saying this. I can no interpreter. Arco long wirando sorle sabato le rena ka di social media antics. Anyway,
Mara akere witse ke no itseng someone must explain to me, man. Someone must explain to me why a player like Davis get.
Oh, last time, I never bipolar, level Alzheimer. Os ka motsang serious, cause ka bushu o nyaka young, ka bushu o nyaka old, o nyaka experience. I tsurwe mo guy, wa tlhalohanya. Ke ntho e mborang ka mo khalabe. First of all, wa tsurwe ka salary ya mokwena. O bakala ke mang? No, la go andamena manqoba, tlhalohanya. O andamena manqoba. Go thare korolane. That is when wa mo roha so go di founung. Plus ha tswa forolane. A ke mo blame re wa mo roga bena mo founung. No man, re ke wala go gaming.
Okay.
Going forward, man, we get new stars in terms of like we're taking options, innit? This game, Nahana if Tash made the call, Bafana. Guys, I think we are done the Pesitao era, like he wasn't even missed. Lale Tengra complain. Yes, he's like our marquee star, number 2 to Laile, Marnor Turbo Tash. Fana Atlangunduena. Yeah, like Lena Ramo Vigile Bruce Nevalo Carifun. I get naga it. So here we're gonna have something different. Talking about someone I can go Dortmund academies, Europe Yitu and Kalohani. So in 20 morning I was impressed. Yeah, obviously technically we could have done some improvements, but it was a clean sheet. Yeah, 5 goals. Which I don't even think we've actually scored as Bafana in this era after 94. Have we scored like this, I imagine?
I think it was 20...
I'm young. George, do you remember?
I think it was 2003 or something like that. Some weird, one of those years. 2003 or something like that where we beat, I'm forgetting the name of the country, but I'm sure somebody will tell us in the comments.
Oh, it was one. That is why I can say it. I tell her I was young. So, but yeah, man, I wanna cut to another game, you guys. We have to be honest. Like, I'm just happy, man. I'm just happy. I don't want us to be that nation, Yari. Okay, so you scored 95%, but you could have got 100%.
Yeah,
it was phenomenal. Let's just embrace this. Robo, know what we can do. So going over to Brazzaville.
Yeah,
it's a small nation. Small nation traditionally struggled against them. Never take Swaziland or draw Swaziland. So now Harriagada, can you just kill it? It's kind of a chance of the rejects of Zako Pirate chance. No, Larry got the same thing line up. Let's kill it off. Recurring another goal, Signana. Maybe can ga 85, but like the ambulance, little to 20 Zabonazo, then what I'm not. Because of Naranyaka Winnie, we're not here to ease each other's egos, bruise to win, and that's that.
Okay, guys. For time, guys, 9 o'clock, Lindo Pep is going to start his show. The Tactical Technocrat Breakdown Show, TTB, is going to start at 9 o'clock. So when we're finished here, just go on over that side. Let me go to Spoo. Spoo, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, OT. How are you?
I'm good. Spoo, 5-0. How do you feel about the game?
I'm all good. Yo, I was very happy. To be honest, I was very, very happy, OT. We even spoke even that day about the winning mentality, the mindset of winning, back and forth, And if you can look, before we won, the way we came, because we drew, I think, 2 games, and we came from behind. I think Talendembata scoring one of those goals. But in general, I'm very, very happy. And I don't know, man, OT, but this issue, how did he disrespect Abu Coach? What did he say? No one is telling us anything there. We just hear he's disrespectful. But anyway, it's not none of our issue, Tinabani, as Pirates fans. But I think going forward to the game tomorrow, I think we should just maintain and try to win at least, even if you can win 1-0 or so. But we need to get the 3 points. Looking at the fact that I think we are number 2 in the group, Yeah.
So okay. Before I go there, essentially what Bruce said was he doesn't understand why Tebza is not playing for Sundowns. And then he started saying things like, somebody needs to explain to me. Now, he may have just been speaking out of turn, but the people are essentially saying it's disrespectful because you're speaking on another coach's player with a situation that you don't know in public as a national team coach. So that might be undermining the coach because Mokwena might be an incredible player for you, but if he disrespects me or if he's drawn the line or even if he hasn't done anything and I as the coach feel like he mustn't play, you can't now come out and stoke those things publicly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. I think he did speak out of turn when you look at it. I mean, from that perspective. But I mean, we also need to look who Hugo Bros is. I don't think most South African fans know who the guy is. They just think he's an arrogant guy, but he's a very, very straightforward guy. He's one of the guys, I think he won the CAF with Cameroon. Go look at the lineup and the squad that he used. Most of those players were bench warmers in their teams, including Onana. But most of them were bench warmers. Abubakar was a bench warmer at Porto. He played, I think, 40% of the games, but he went and he won because this is how he operates. He looks at quality, not if you are playing every day for your team and you're doing well for your team. And I think most people don't understand why he didn't just start using Sundowns from the beginning. Why he delayed using Sundowns, because he wanted to find out or find his own players, players that he can believe in, players that could implement what he wants. Although even Sundowns do implement, most players of Sundowns are playing for the squad. We give credit, we know that. But I think we also need to look at the guy. Who is he? Where does he come from? What has he achieved? You'll see that I think he has a player. He has won the UEFA with Ahly long time ago, but he's one of the best tacticians. He's very, very good. And I said this before when he came, I think with one of my colleagues when we used to speak, I said, this is the guy. For me, this is the guy that can implement, the guy that will, because South African media, I feel sometimes messes up things, not mainstream media, but when you look at media, and I think for some years, this is why we never got things right, when Shakes Mashawa would come and coach 2-3 games and then the media lashes, but this is the guy that goes straight to the media's forehead and say, listen, this is what I want to say. But him speaking about Mokwena in that manner, and I think he disrespected Sundowns and the Sundowns coach, but also, I mean, Sundowns fans shouldn't have to, because we also don't know what Mokwena did. What did he do to disrespect? Because I think he was blamed for that game that they lost, the Stellenbosch game, the first game. But I think most of the blame went to him. Maybe his attitude or something like that. But Mokwena, whether we like it or not, Mokwena is quality. Whether you take him to Makesi, but Mokwena is quality. And then he proved it. He showed that this is what I am. What's nice about Mokwena, Motaung, and Mishishi, but I'm not going to push Mishishi. Williams, Mokwena, and Motaung, you can get the same results in 5 different matches with 5 different teams. You will get the same results in terms of number of crosses, in terms of number of marking, interceptions from Mokwena, and the number of saves from Williams. These are the consistent players of Sundowns. But then again, if you look at football overall, I think we shouldn't judge Mangoba for doing what he's doing. He knows what he wants to do. He's the one who's got the remote, who wants to control. But I also feel we shouldn't lash Mokwena, in that way, and saying he will leave. If he has to leave, he can leave. He's not bigger than the team. He's never said anything. He's never done anything. No one knows what happened.
I want to give you the last few seconds here. How should we approach the game tomorrow?
I think we should play a much more defensive, but I mean that's a weak Congo. Okay, we can just approach the game as we did last time, but not push too much. Also we can rest some players, and see if we can try other players, even though it's an away game. But I don't think they can come and beat us 5 or 6. I don't think they'll even beat us. I think we should just go them with the very same mentality of attacking and winning. Okay.
Now, for time's sake, let me go to Glenn. Glenn, welcome to the show. But Glenn, patience, Mar.
Sorry, my brother. How's it?
I'm good, Glenn. Mara patience, Glenn. Ke go bone ko di commenting. Go tla kena, Brag. Welcome.
How do you
Nthaele 5-0. Eh.
Yeah, firstly, before 5-0, I want to kafa on the Sundowns issue. Now, Sundowns is suffering from the Galacticos case. You know, when you have an oversaturation of stars, you don't know who to play and when to play. So, Mangoba, just that he's a man without courage and he's not brave enough to say things. You see, now in my view is that Mokwena at the moment does not suit what Mangoba is trying to do. If you look at the issue of Allende, Allende was brought at Sundowns as a 10, as an attacking midfielder. But now the problem became when Rulani started to innovate and come up with this formation of playing too much midfielders. So now he converted Allende into a rotational midfielder, and then Mokwena was more of a box to box. Now you cannot play a box to box, a rotational midfielder and a seater. And you must remember what Mango was trying. Mango was trying to enter the opposition box in record time and all those stuff. But the issue here is that Mokwena at Sundowns does not have a place to play for now. And we must be honest enough to say that yes, you are a good player, but your position at Sundowns for now is not existent. You understand? I know I'm going to get elation because people are watching football with favoritism, and I'm used to that. It's fine. But the issue of 5-0, we must be again honest and say that Bafana had a very, very easy task, and then they did well. Well. That one must not take away from them. The issue again is Pitso Mosimane. Pitso Mosimane was the one who was forcing Zwane to play as an 8 more than as a 10, because if you look at Pitso Mosimane, he takes time to cover ground, and when you are playing on the second line or the progression line as they call it, you need to be fast when you cover ground. So Zwane saw this one and said, but Pitso is slow, so let me assist them in terms of getting the ball out of the pressure zone. You understand? So he needed to play as an 8. He needed to play as an 8 as a collector. So when he was playing as a collector, he was doing so to keep Bafana compact in the midfield. And then the issue again of Mokwena. Mokwena is very, 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 very important for Bafana, because Hugo Bros is a disciplined coach, and Hugo Bros thrives on clean sheets, thrives on a good defense. So Mokwena offers us that he is very, 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 very much a hard worker in terms of marking the ball and closing up the spaces at the back. So we must not lash the ball, but we must encourage the boy to do more of his defensive work, because attacking, to be honest, attacking is giving us nothing. He missed a clear-cut goal. I don't know if it's an issue of confidence or what. But the boy must start to believe in himself, and when you start to believe in yourself, the ball that he missed, he just needed to slide, and that's the issue of confidence. If you are confident, you can imagine things, and when you imagine things, you can do things, and then you see, and you see where I'm going. So my brother, the issue of 5-0, it was an easy one, but Sundowns is suffering from the Galacticos cause, and then that's nothing that we can do.
Can I ask you in the last minute here? Does the game look different if we don't score those 2 set pieces? Do those set pieces help to cluster over some issues?
Yes, because you must remember, with the first goal, it meant that the opposition's game plan needed to change. But the third goal also demoralized the opposition. So you must remember that the timing of the goals were very important in terms of changing their strategy, and the third one demoralized them. And when they were demoralized, we saw now Pitso Mosimane now feeling comfortable on the ball, because in another platform I heard Lindo Pep saying that Pitso Mosimane was comfortable because now the opposition was demoralized, and then he could now receive the ball, turn on the ball, and pass forward passes and all those stuff. But it must be said that we created our own luck and we created our own comfort on the ball by scoring those goals and also by being ruthless in attack.
For time's sake, thank you so much, Glenn. Guys, please don't forget to press the follow button, and also here's a little goal right here. Thank you so much to KG there in the comments pushing there. We've passed 50,000. Can we get to 100? Let me go to Sipo. Sipo, welcome to the show. How are you?
My groot man, sharp is it?
Makimnati man. Sipo, 5-0. What is ranking?
Thanks a lot, groot man. Laka man, I love your show, man. First of all, I went to the game at Gqeberha. It was a beautiful stadium. It was a nice game. I know Badlalila Majida, beautiful game. I think Obasi still needs to improve. I think maybe when time goes on, if maybe he can get some game time at Sundowns, I think he'll definitely do something better. But there's talent there, and then 5-0 is not bad. I don't think our opposition was that difficult for us maybe to break this match, but a win is a win. And I think maybe when the time goes, we have to keep up the momentum of winning. It must be a normality for Bafana to win. So I think, when time goes, we are going to face tougher oppositions. And I think, currently we are doing good. So, and then going into the second leg, I don't think we need to pressure ourselves that much. I think maybe, we can tweak the formation here and there. We can rest some of the players because we are going to play in a very, very hot country. So I don't think we have to push ourselves that much. I think we already have an idea of the kind of opposition that we are going to face. So I think Amachita will do great tomorrow, and I think we will come back with a victory. And then coming to the issue of Kamukwena. Coming to the issue Kamukwena, I'm a Sundowns fan by blood. I love the team. I have a membership of it. I attend most of the games that I'm able to attend, and I'm two sides of what's happening, because on the other side, I understand why Hugo did what he did or why he asked what he asked, because it's a normality when you see one of the best players at a particular team not playing. And then you wonder, why is now that guy not playing? The team is struggling here and there. That guy is not to say Sundowns is struggling. Sundowns is big. They've shown that they can do well with or without him. They're big. But as football of the season, we know what he's capable of. I stand to be corrected when I say I don't think there's a midfielder in South Africa better than him. So it's questionable when you don't see someone like that playing. But then on the other side, Mokwena is not bigger than Sundowns. I agree with what Amanya Machida have said. Mokwena is not bigger than Mamelodi Sundowns. So if there is a quarrel, this alleged quarrel that we don't know, if there is something like that between him and the coach, I believe in a personal Mchita must just come back, fix himself. You need to understand, at Sundowns, you go there to work. Your coach is your leader, so you listen to your leader, even if he's wrong, even if he tells you to do something you don't like. At the end of the day, you do what is best for the team, not for yourself. So, I feel whatever this thing that is happening between him and Mangoba, if there is something like that, they have to find a way to resolve it. But we've seen what he's capable of. He's a very, very good player. As supporters, we were concerned because when we go to these games to spectate, we love seeing players like Abatembazwane because they bring that flair into the game. That they are one of the reasons why we go to the stadiums, to pay money out of our own pockets, to get into the transports and go to the stadium, because we want to see players like that. So when we don't see them playing natty, at some point we get unhappy, but at the end of the day, if the team has won, then that's what matters to us as supporters. So we support Sundowns. We don't support Mokwena personally, but he's part of the Sundowns and we love him. Yeah.
Tell me about the stadium. How did you feel about how that situation was handled?
Man, those guys make that thing as if it was a big thing. It was not a big thing as such. We even attended the one that was in Mangaung when we were playing against Nigeria. The same thing happened there. Yeah, the same thing happened there. So I think sometimes we blow things out of proportion, but yeah, the situation got a bit scary at first, but the way it was handled, I think everybody was like, no, it's all rule this thing, the game is gonna come back, and then everything was gonna continue, because even in rugby matches, these things happen. So I genuinely don't, the way I think the media just showed it, I think they just blew it out of proportion, because now they made it seem as if now the match was no longer safe to be played, but security was able to control the situation very, very quickly, and then we were all calm. It's not like we were now panicking by, hey, guys, there might be something happening, we need to evacuate or whatnot. We all felt safe there. So then when you leave the stadium and then you arrive home and then you go to your social media and then you read about, hey, something like this and this and this happened, you're like, but I was there.
Yeah.
It was not as bad as these people make it out to be. Yeah, I was there. It was not that much. But you know how it is, man. But it was a beautiful game. Gqeberha can really, really host.
Okay. No, Sipho, thank you so much. I'm gonna try steal some time here so that we can finish on time. Thank you so much, 63K. Mazdisha, guys. Nainto. Hi to the people who are watching on YouTube. Thank you for joining. I saw somebody asking me. It is simulcast to YouTube as well. We were doing Facebook, we were doing Twitter, ran into some issues there. Even Instagram at some point, ran into some issues there. But we'll fix it. Don't worry, we'll get there. I just wanted to say, again, for me, I don't necessarily care that much about why Umangoba's benching or whether he's right or wrong. My biggest question, and maybe to the comments, what happens, man, to another coach and their authority? Do you think that gets in the way of something? Maybe I've got my reasons. And shouldn't that be a phone call? Shouldn't that be a phone call coach to coach? Where they go, Coach Mangoba, why are you benching this boy? What's happening? It's all of the things he said. My issue with coach when he speaks out loud like that, is at least speak to the other coach then. At least before you can speak to everybody else, speak to them. Don't comment on something if you're gonna. Before you can speak to everybody else. Hey, mute, guys. Don't speak on something when you haven't looked the coach in the eye that you're gonna speak about, because that's where our media will take it, and then things get blown out of proportion. I'm fighting because tomorrow, when Mangoba has a press conference, now he has to choose whether to be a fighter, whether to be the one that calms the situation down, whether to still bench Mokwena. What does it look like if he brings Mokwena back? There's all of these different things. Hey, Smarty, somebody's making a noise. Guys, please mute. So that's my worry here, that, man, you haven't spoken to me, you don't know the situation, according to him. And then it becomes a Rulani versus Bruce situation again. But let me bring in Malume Kutso. Malume Kutso, welcome to the show. How are you? Malume Kutso. Oh, I am a fellow. Okay, let me go to Velile. Mtaka baba, kenzakalani Orlando?
Mtaka baba kunjani?
Man, ngimnandi nangu Malume Kutso akekho angazi kenzakalani. But anyway, Mtaka baba, 5-0. You became a fan of Hugo Bruce ngizwile after the game. How did you feel about this 5-0?
Mina wathula waba neshow namhlanje, mina phela bengithi sizonibona ku-open bus, ngantani yenzi na ilokhu njani i-road show na
abangimemanga bamemuwawa mina abangimemanga
asikisi shem hayi makayedini
umngani wami uright lapha imbasela yakhona man
ihambe nje lapha ephefeni kuphela nje izule nje khona lapha. Yeah, man. First of all, ngizothi abengasifan kaBruce, bengibonga nje ukuwina. Uyazi mina naye neclashinyana nje naye, bengibonga nje ukuwina kwebafana yethu.
Yeah.
And also, I could say thanks very much to our third choice coach, which is in the name of Hugo Bruce. We know he was one of our first choice when we decided to point for the coach. and also take this opportunity and thank Supersport United, Stanley Matthews specifically, for some thanks Stan Matthews specifically for producing good players such as Ronwen Williams, Grant Kekana, or Primudiba, Teboho Mokwena. What about Gaki? Uzoseng Balengaki?
Tito.
It's a Tito Masangani. Yeah. Hi, Baning, and thanks Tim Sugazi for producing Matusi Obas. Thanks Stellenbosch for producing players like Eke Reines before other people can purchase them when they were already Bafana players and claim that they produced them. So yeah, you see. So thanks to those directors of those clubs that were involved in developing this beautiful Bafana of ours. And also, you know, Musutu Bruce is not my favorite cup of tea, but it's fine. We will congratulate him and the team for playing beautiful football on Friday, and the Swinile, Sachabula, 5-0. And also, Futi, we must commend Umshish. I think he came to the party like as always he does, and always proving now and again. That's why Gazlamil Sashisa namanje ukuthi uBruce azangafuni ukumthatha asafika kube sayidlala that World Cup. Kube sayishaya eGhana kwakube kuyitho kumele idlale iWorld Cup. And also Mavusana.
Yo, Mavusana mute, Mavusana. Umavusana man. So zanendaba zakhe.
No, and also it was good to see him introducing my player, especially Boliru, and also the other players that were introduced. It's unfortunate because he only seems like he selected Tito not to play him basically, because if we're gonna say to Tito one day he's gonna replace Umshishi, then I don't know which game will he be introduced than the game whereby it's winner 5-0. So, but yeah, those are one of those things. Yes, and also eyakhe yokuthi angene indaba zabantu angihambisani naye, because nathi yasazi ukuthi why uJD nahambisiwe campaign. So he must stick to what has been employed for by SAFA, select players lawafuna ukwa selector as much as he does ngabo Nico Mobi. No one ask him so much. And this has been doing before now, Makopa. No one asked him so much, but Sibongwin, you know me, I'm not a technocrat and whatsoever. And who's will about his Sundowns is suffering from what? Machalandia. Yeah?
Marumeli.
Suffering from what? Hey! I was.
But I tell you, last minute, but on the last minute, how must they approach Xasa? Pelamina Mangsha Muntu 5, Melang Sabe, Mangiza food.
No. Yabona enasempilweni nje mawushaye umuntu washaya umuntu ngathi ubulala inyoka. Ungacabanga ukuthi maye kwesi2 uze ngasame strategy izokusebenzela. You must be careful. So your project Xasa, it has to be a cautious one.
Yeah.
Don't be in a hurry like we did when we played at home. Just be cautious, and then we'll hit them on the counter attack. We'll see good one, but we've seen already good Abeko, especially Futi. Try and also capitalize on those set pieces. We see good lap of Vele Abeko go in those set pieces, and just no matter one or two. Sibuye nje namapoint ngoba lento esikhala manje ukuqualify. Sithola amapoint ehlala phezulu and then we qualify for yini le AFCON World Cup enama
the AFCON.
Ola AFCON. Kanti ini ne World Cup.
Sazi man.
Yabona man. Sesijabule sithi World Cup but sisajabule ukuya la eMozambique. So yabona inkinga le. So but now we just be cautious. We are playing away. Just hit them on the count and just get those 1 or 2 goals and close jobs. We come back with points.
Hey,
but the Sundowns is suffering from what?
As the very Latin, uthathe le energy ka Bruce Waisa somewhere else. Let me go to Robs. Welcome to the show. Are you with me?
Ngikhona bhuti munjani?
Magimnandi Robs 5-0. How do you feel about this game?
Best practice lapha bhuti.
Best team.
Lapha best practice lapha. Lapha it's bengeyona game la best practice lapha. Best practice mfowethu. Next game kumele senze kangcono. Shaye noma 10. 5 incane. At least 10 uyababona ukuthi ya sekuyadlalwa.
Yeah.
Mina mfowethu yazi mina my issue ile kaMkwena ne.
Okay.
And I see ukuthi the most of people abacomplaina ngomkwena ama-fans angasupport Sundowns. Ama-fans support the Chiefs ne-Pirates. Ibona bakhala kakhulu ngomkwena because he only performs better on the game leya manje. Because even on the previous game in-national team azange aperforme kahle. Because leya nto leya as a player you need to play for your team first, the national team. Remember team can refuse ukuthi uyodlala national team because bona babhadala. I understand. I feel like omkwena bakhohlwa lokho ukuthi i-national team ni right ukuthi i-team ni right ukuthi asifuni uyodlala national team. I understand. And i-pride need to be taught or they need to learn ebadleni abanjengozwane. Awukazi uze uskandal ngozwane uzwane ube no-coach xa bene no-coach i-performance yakhe yehlile because he's not happy with the situation in Sundowns. Never. He's one of the best players, disciplined players. They need to learn from there. Listen, la ngiyadlala ngizosebenza whatever kwenza la behind the closed doors. Abangakubona abalandeli. Yabo. And I'm glad ukuthi umdaba bemfaka egamini eChiefs. He was able to come back. Yabo. He performed very well umdaba. So as ama-fans asingakhali sithi hayi umanqoba uyabheda umanqoba wenza ukuthi umanqoba knows ukuthi wenzani. Thina kwethu kubekezela sibuke nje igame ukuthi wenzani lekhehla leli. If liyafeyila that's where you're going to blame him as amanqoba. Because of 1 2 3 4 5. Excuse me. Nakhula ufailile because awenzanga ukuthi. But currently team is doing well. Iya win. And I dlala ibhola ekuthiwa liyabheda le bhola le. You understand? Umkwena nje wethu siyamdinga as Sundowns because namagame amaningi. But he needs to change his attitude when it comes to the team. Yabo. That's my issue mina ngayo ukuthi yebo bot.
No, I wanted to ask. Mara, are we also not being harsh ngomkwena ngoba we don't even know what happened?
I mean, I'll tell you. Yabona issue yomkwena. I think iqala la. Yabona when Rulani left Sundowns. That's where it started. Because remember umkwena umdawu kekane those players they're all using one agent ne.
Okay.
So i-trust bebenayo or i-hope bebenayo ngoRulani ukuthi maybe they might go overseas. Uthe mehamba, I think that's where it failed ukuthi aphela amathuba ami ke manje ukuthi ngihambe ngephesheya. Yabo. Because they know Sundowns ukuthi Sundowns iyanqaba nabadlali bahamba ephesheya. Yabo. And even on our first game and second game we Telecom. MTN 8. The performance was not there. We can just say hi it was not there. We now Alende Mutau Motiba they were not giving us anything on that game. And second game coach trusted them again because I'm a senior players. And they failed to coach again. So you never fail coach then it was a because that's what we're coach because of two players my senior player because they are senior players. They need to so perform national team kumele kwenze ukuthi team yakhe first yabo because team yakhe ngamhlathe benchini futhi maybe this weekend angadlali yabo. So for me I feel like udinga umuntu ozomtshela ukuthi ndoda change your attitude. A good player but if uzahamba kanje you're not going to go any far in football. Yeah,
very quickly.
Liverpool.
No, it's okay.
Because if you remember very well, Yakumbule Steve is starting attitude on the Pirates. Very good player, but bad attitude on the Pirates. But Pirates, no, sharp. We are bigger than you. Via. So you need to be disciplined, then you'll go far. So ndingathi abantu abazomtshela mfethu you are disciplined. Hlonipha ucoach wakho. If you're not happy, use ama-channels right, and then uzoba sharp.
Okay. For time's sake, Roms, I need to bring in Kabzozo. Kabzozo, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Put.
Kabzozo? Okay, we'll see if we can't get to Kabzozo back. Oh, there we go.
Yes. Good evening. How are you doing?
No, I'm good, thanks, and yourself, my brother.
I'm well, thanks. I think your show deserves to be on other platforms. And when I say deserve, I mean it. This is not a startup show. It's not a startup show. Your appearance looks very good. Your background looks very good. You are live and blinking, attending to the comments and the attendees here. You know, you are not just behind this. So I think maybe consider getting a sponsor of some sort, you know, and let's take it to other social media platforms because it's really worth it, this show. It's really
thank you so much, my brother. Guys, if you know anyone, please, in the comments. Kabza, 5-0. How do you feel about it?
5-0, I knew it was going to come, that 5-0. I'm happy we won, but I'm not that excited. I'm thinking about tomorrow, that how are we going to keep this strength, this consistency with all the noise that is also behind us. And I'll tell you why I'm saying I saw this coming. When there was some news agencies that were releasing some headlines about how the team that we're playing against has not landed in the country. And normally they would have at least one day before they land where they will speak to the media and give any updates of injuries and also talk about the jersey that they're going to use for that game. It's part and parcel of the processes whenever they go abroad, that they arrive a little bit. It looks like this guy, they came on the day when the game had to be played, or whichever time they came, they didn't give them an allowance for them to get themselves into the acclimatized to the South African space, like Uganda did at Orlando Stadium, I think, at some point or somewhere, where even the Sundowns goalkeeper was seen there with the team. So with that, I just saw that they wouldn't be prepared for us. And we made an advantage of home and also of an unprepared team. So when we go home, when we go away, we may see a different team and we may need to tighten up. The Bafana team, when coming to the Bafana team, I feel like the Bafana team is not high, it's not low, but it's medium to low in terms of its structure. I was looking at even the balls that were given to Lyle Foster and how he was not closing them off, and some of the things, it didn't look very tight knit. You know, it was not the Bafana that we know where it was able to play back forward. We want the Bafana that could challenge Nigeria of your look men. Of your look men and your this guy with the mask, I forget now. Victor
Osimhen.
Yes, we want that night. We want that Bafana. We want that Bafana that took on Morocco. We want that. We want that tight team. And Hugo Bruce, I empathize a lot with him. I think we are looking at him from a position of none of your business, in inverted commas, or is this your business? If we do that, I think we would be very short-sighted. We must remember Hugo Bruce is not a newcomer in South Africa. He's gone through the baptism of fire, where the media has said a lot about how he shouldn't be a big mouth, and how at some point he also said the PSL teams are sabotaging him and not allowing players to come through. So he had to go through all that cycle. If you remember the qualifier in Ghana, and he had to, if I may loosely use this word, beg coaches, because when called meetings, people didn't show up, and certain comments were made that my players, I don't want them to be injured and whatever you call. And he built that team. Even though we are saying majority is coming from Mamelodi Sundowns and the like, yes, those are South Africans once they wear that shirt. He was able to mirror whatever good tactics that they're using as Sundowns to come to Bafana and get a few outliers in there and make it work. And they work successfully. We beat Morocco. I didn't believe it when we beat Morocco. So when he's lamenting, don't think it's anything personal. And I think it's very unfair of us as fans to expect a coach not to address a domestic league club. Sundowns is a domestic league club. If Mokwena was benched maybe somewhere overseas at France, there where Zungu was playing, or at the EPL, then the discussion would be different. We would say there's a distance. But here, he's talking to a stakeholder community that he knows, that he's gone through the baptism of fire with, that neglected him and at some point forgiven him so much that there was a time that Rulani even spoke good of Hugo Bruce, when in action we thought Rulani doesn't support Hugo Bruce in principle, but the time that he was saying I like Hugo because he says things this way and whatever. So in terms of that, I think he should be allowed to speak because he speaks from a position of a national coach and he represents the voice of the man on the street. I'm a Pirates fan. I support Orlando Pirates, and I can tell you that Mamelodi Sundowns team, it really took Bafana to higher levels. It took it to the glory days of 1996 and the like.
But what I want to ask is, shouldn't this be direct to Mangoba? Can't they phone each other or WhatsApp each other? Do we have to get involved with some of these questions, especially if the fix is not going to come from us?
Sure. I think we should not forget that sportsmen guys are not like office people. They speak through sidelines before they go into boardrooms. That's the nature of sports people. Their bosses are the ones that go and fix behind the scenes whatever that is not in tune. You know, if you can check what Rulani Mokwena was doing at Galaxy and the coach of Galaxy, the fights that they had, the communication that goes behind them later on was one that was calming things down. But Rulani spoke his mind, and so did Sid. Yeah, he spoke his mind, and we're open. So it's not a space where we really means in sports. It's in their nature. When they take press conferences, journalists probe them for them to give those responses. And when they probe them, it's not that Hugo Bruce doesn't have a view. He does have a view, but for him to take a call and make those calls offline, perhaps there may be certain barriers. And with regard to wrap up here,
very quickly.
I think I like Mangoba Ngwenya. I liked him a lot from a position of being a very humble guy. I felt very bad when he was taken down from Lungisi to take over alone, and I see him as a guy who's very mature, who's a father figure, who doesn't hold grudges. In this case, I think tactically speaking, there was an isolation of Sailor and Teboho from the team, but right now it's like divide and conquer, where Sailor is being featured and the other one is left behind. So I think Teboho, his position, he's coming from a position of being silly. I don't think he's that.
No, for time comes just to be fair.
I don't think Teboho has a quarrel with the coach. I think Teboho is just a silly young boy who need to approach from those lens, not from the lens of punishing him.
Thank you so much, Kabza. Just for time's sake, I'm gonna have to jump in there. Let me bring in Vusi. Vusi, welcome to the show. How are you?
How's it, my man?
Man, gimnandi man, Pravusi. 5-0. How do you feel about this score, man?
Firstly, out in correct two wrongs, OT man. Angathi as a Chiefs fan, angathi singena indaba zabo zamkwena in asikho lapha, angasifaki kuma problems wakhe, please. Makahlale nama problems wakhe nomkwena. And OT, let me correct them ngale ndaba kaMkwena noManqoba. It's not like the media has said ukuthi they've got a fight. We are just speculating. So let's stop speculating ukuthi kune fight between Manqoba and Mokwena. No, guys. And OT, we so spoiled that much ukuthi we win 5-0, we still complain. I mean, I heard someone talking about us beating Nigeria, going to Nigeria. How many times did we play Nigeria with the same coach, same players?
Yeah.
And we even went to Nigeria to play them at their home backyard. They didn't beat us. So why are we still doubting the current coach? I mean, it seems like we are so spoiled, as if we were winning before Bruce came, and we were not winning. We were losing games, but now we win 5-0. We still want more. We are so spoiled that maybe we already won the African Nations Cup or something. I mean, mind me, in the past 6-8 years, no club from South Africa has won the Champions League or the Confederation Cup. So we should be saying at least we are going somewhere. Okay.
Do you think maybe it's something South Africans do? When we're down, we're all the way down. When we're up, man, we want, when you hear Sundowns speak about the Champions League, it's all the way up. When you speak about Chiefs, for example, pre-Nabi, it's all the way down. Do we have a problem of balancing as South Africans?
Definitely. If you look at Sundowns, they've got the right to say, they are the ones who can say, let's go for the Champions League. If you don't go for the Champions League as a Sundowns coach, then you fail. But because why I'm saying that Sundowns, year in, year out, they're in there. So a team like Kaizer Chiefs, you can't just say because there's Nabi, and Nabi must go and win the Champions League. My man, you have to step by step. We can't just say, Bruce, go and win us the World Cup. Where were we before Bruce came? Bruce is trying to build us something, and we're still complaining. We're still asking him to bring Abotito, Abomang. Let the coach do what. Remember what he said when he took Mvala. Mvala was injured when he went to the Nations Cup. You remember? And everyone was complaining, where are you taking Mvala? He said, I know what I'm doing. What did Mvala do in that Nations Cup? Everyone was talking about Mvala. Even Nigerians, they were mentioning Mvala. They said, there's this guy in South Africa, Mvala. So imagine if he had to listen to us as fans and leave Mvala behind. I mean, today we could be talking another story like it. So let's give the coach his chance. Let's leave the coach to do his job. I know he's got a plan for tomorrow. As much as we want players to go and represent us, but the coach has a plan tomorrow. Let's leave the coach to play whoever he wants. I mean, who thought that coach would play? Remember, Maposa is playing as a midfield in that Sundowns team, but he took him and he played him as a left back. And when he sees that, no, we are not dominating on the left, he brought in Basatini and he pushed Maposa to the left half. And we started operating that left flank, and we had Kudis on the right-hand flank. So, I mean, for me, the coach knows what he's doing. I will never doubt him. That old man knows what he's doing. He's a masterclass.
How do you think they're going to approach the game tomorrow? Speaking of, do you think that we should be confident? Do you think that we should be defensive because it's away? Do you think that Congo arriving here later than they were meant to maybe played into how they performed? How must we approach tomorrow in Brazzaville?
Our problem is, as always, when we travel, it's the pitch. We can only decide the game when we see the pitch. You might find out that we are going to play in the bush. So what's the point of playing the ball like we do, keep the ball? So in that one, we are bound to play route one or sit back and get them on the counter. Again, you might find that we are going to play on the artificial pitch, of which we are not used to. We've got the artificial pitch, but we don't use them here at home. So, I mean, that will depend tomorrow how is he going to approach the game, depending on the pitch that we are going to play on.
So, I wanna ask you, what has Hugo Bruce brought to this team? If you can try put it into words, because I see them play different styles of play, formations, whatnot. Mara, they win. What's different? And maybe to the country.
The mentality. Yes, it's the mentality. Remember, Bruce dropped a player like Matip when he was the coach of Cameroon. And Matip, at the time, he was playing for Liverpool. And he said, I don't need him. If he doesn't need the country, I don't need him. So Bruce came with this mentality of, it's either you play for me or you don't. And when you play for me, you go and win the game for me. That's all he did. Yeah.
Okay, no. We'll see. Yeah. One last thing, huh?
I was saying like Nabi at Chiefs. Did you hear when we lose to Sundowns what he said? He said, "I don't want the players to drop their heads when we lose the game." That's when you go and like rectify the mistake. In the next game, you go and win it.
Yeah. Okay. No, we'll see.
So I think. Yeah.
For time's sake, I'm gonna have to jump in. Thank you so much, Busi. Guys,
no thanks, man.
Please follow, and also 191,000 likes, almost on 100. KG's doing an amazing job there in the comments. Please, gonna get to 100k. But also, here it is, please. Okay, so let me bring in the last panel so we can have a conversation and close off the show. While I get the people in, I think it's a very interesting conversation that we're having about the relationship between the national team coach and also the club coaches. For me, look, the problem here is media a lot of the times, but it's also what is the result of your words. I don't mind the words, but there are repercussions to the words. I could bench Mokwena for the rest of the season because I feel disrespected, or I feel like now somebody else is coming in to try and fight for this player and supersede me, thinking that maybe because they're the national team coach, they're 1, 2, and 3, 4. All of these things have actions. There's actions and consequences. And if he's complaining, if there was a complaint that the PSL coaches were not coming to the table before, why would I come to the table now if everything I do is going to be questioned? So again, in the comments, please let me know how you guys feel about it. Let me go to welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, Oti, how's it, my man?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. 5-0. How did you feel about it?
The what? You mean the Bafana match?
5-0. Yeah, hey, man. Oh.
Hey, Pitso, I'm not gonna lie, man. It feels so good. In a very long time, we have to be honest. It feels so good, especially when you win convincingly and your football is just beautiful. I mean, it's amazing to watch them. I was even jealous of the fans there because they were treated to a very, very beautiful game of football. Lots of goals. It's beautiful to watch, and I love the question that you asked, because you asked Guti, what exactly did Hugo Bros bring or changed compared to the other coaches. I think he's so confident in his abilities. I mean when you look at him, he's not easily swayed by anything. When he says this is what he wants, he's going to get it. If he says I'm going to play Mokwena, I don't care if he's playing his team that he plays for in the PSL, he's going to play him, and he's going to start with him, and that tells you the character of a coach that we have. I mean, we've got one of the best coaches, not only with his tactics, the way he's able to manage this team. I mean, kudos to him. Since he came here, he started with players that we were all like, no man, I think I'm doubting Mvala. I think I'm doubting so and so. And he's proven us all wrong. He's able to deliver. He's able to make this boy tick for some reason, and they are able to play. I mean, it's brought back the dignity of the national team. We are playing with pride. Even I saw a TikTok clip of a Nigerian guy that said, guys, now the team that we need to fear, it's Bafana. The way they play now, each and every African country needs to be careful when they play Bafana. He even made an example to say he can't wait when Bafana meets Ghana because of that penalty that happened. So he says, I can't wait when Bafana for by mistake, maybe we meet somewhere with Ghana in AFCON. He says, I'm looking forward to that match. And I'm also looking forward to that match because this is a different Bafana. And I'm hopeful that we are going to win a lot of things with this team.
What did you make of the safety issue at the stadium?
Yeah, that's another thing. But I mean, like, we are so happy, man. I was like, it's not like there's 20 people that went in there, man. Let's just. I mean, like, it happened in Bombela with rugby. People were so happy because it's just white. It's a white sport, or predominantly a white sport. No one was saying much about that. Actually, we're laughing about the fans that came into the pitch in Bombela. But it's Bafana. 2 or 3 fans were so overly excited, and then now we're making a meal out of it. Come on, guys. We are very happy. So let's just tighten the security and make sure that it doesn't happen again. But in terms of saying, no, it's unsportsmanship and so forth, nah. We are just happy. We see it happening in England when they win the league. I mean, when the fans are happy, they can get into the pitch and celebrate with the players. Yeah.
And then how should Bafana approach the game tomorrow?
Let's just get I don't know if I should say win, because you never know with these African teams. I was saying something in the office. I said, they will surprise you there, because we don't know how to even play in the artificial field. I'm always doubting or not happy when we have to travel into these other countries, because they give an artificial field and most of our players are not used to it. Remember what happened when I can't remember which team we were playing, and then it was raining as well, and it was an artificial field on a rainy day. So I think we lost that game 2-0, if I remember very well. So I just hope that we're not going to get a bad field, because we just need these 3 points so that we can be top of the league. Top of the group.
Okay, no. Well, thank you so much. Let me bring in Usije without the burner. What happened to the burner account, Sinj?
Hey, you know what, my man? TikTok now is tittle-tailing now. I create a backup account, and TikTok tells everyone that this backup account is someone that you may know as Usije. Now, what is the point of me going all the way, creating a backup account for TikTok to come and tell everyone? Like, say, this person is someone that you might know.
This is what you think it is?
Come on.
5-0, man.
Hey, I don't understand why are we celebrating this 5-0? Like we are beating Congo from Motaung. Are we seriously that? Are we that? Listen, okay, good score, but listen, it's not a team. It's not like we beat like DRC 5-0. Then I'll be jumping up and down. Good score. When you are dominant, you show your dominance. I'll applaud them for that.
Okay.
That's what you do. If I'm bigger than you, I must show you that I'm bigger than you. And we did that with excellence. And we give Hugo Bosser and the boys a round of applause for that. When you're playing a weak team, you must put cricket score so that people may know that this team is not to play, not to mess with you. On the pitch invasion thing, I think we cannot tolerate that thing. We cannot take it lightly. These are professional players. The field must be protected. And you must also understand that there is no security that is tight when you enter the field. So someone can come with a knife and run and stab Tebucho on the neck, and then what do I going to say?
Hey, the way they jumped on Podela. The way they jumped on Podela.
Safety, it's not numbers. It mustn't be 5,000 people for you to say that now this is a safety hazard. No, one individual that is on the field is not supposed to be there. That's a security hazard on its own, and we must deal with it decisively, and we must not play around with it. You get what I mean?
Do you think that Safa underestimated this game in terms of security?
I think, they knew that it was going to be. Sold out because they were giving away a lot of tickets, and people won a lot of tickets from radio shows and so on and so forth. So they knew that the stadium is going to be packed. But and we are coming from a Lusikisiki massacre, and we come from a Ngobo massacre in the Eastern Cape. We cannot take these things very lightly and very seriously. Take them lightly. So I think that the ref did the right thing, and I think the Minister of Sport and Arts and Culture, whoever it is, did the right thing to bring the police inside. I think that this should be done to each and every national team, national games, where we protect and have our police, even the defense force, I'll go as far as that to come and assist and ensure that we do proper crowd control. My only problem is this: I'm not sure if those police come from the Department of Crowd Control, or it's just these Funda boys that come from the college. They were given a tender to come and pay at the field. And the other thing that the Hugo boss, let's not tolerate this thing. Hugo boss has no right to be interfering with club politics and club policies. He is the national team. He must speak about players, not the club, not the disciplinary process of the club, not the directions of the club, not the decisions of the club. He must speak about the quality of the players. We had all John Mabizela here was playing for Bafana. He did not even have a team. So if he wants to put Tebucho because he believes in Tebucho's abilities to play, let him back that thing up and say, no, I don't care what's happening at Sundowns. It's none of my business. I know his quality. I know how he plays. That's why he's in the camp. Simple and clear. Leave the businesses, leave the club politics alone. Distance yourself from them. Say to the media, it's none of my business. My business is Tebucho and his quality and what is needed in the Bafana team. End story. Finish. Nothing. It does not. He can't be meddling. It's none of his business. What is going to happen? And then when club coaches start to speak about Bafana, are we going to say that the club coaches are in their rights to be speaking about the aim and how he plays and how his team is structured and the direction of his team? And him and the bosses and him and the relationship with his bosses. We can't. People must know their story. They must know where you begin, where you start, and where you end. You can't be overstepping. And he needs to be told that. And the sad part about it is that he doesn't do this with European teams and European players when they're not playing. He speaks nicely. He chooses his words carefully. But when it comes to South Africa, he thinks that he speaks as if he's coming down from a tree. And that's my issue with him.
Tell me, CJ, just for the last minute, how must Bafana approach the game tomorrow? Will it be a different game, or is it still Timu DRC as you're saying?
I don't think that Congo from Temu has the capacity to beat Bafana 6-0. I think maybe this could be the time where you can test other players within a framework as well. Let's see other faces. Let's see what other players can do. Let's see why other players are in the camp. Maybe it's time so that when we don't have to wait for an injury for you to bring a player into the system. So for me, I would like to see that. I would like to see the defensive structure of Bafana, how it plays around, and also build confidence. And there's a problem with the right wing. I don't know what's going on in the right wing. We need to find an alternative player there. Maybe it's time to throw them in that particular. I mean, we are 5-0. We've got 5 goals ahead. I mean, you can be careless, man.
Bara CJ, Bara. Every time you have to leave with something.
Imagine it's okay. He says it's got encyclopedia. Imagine encyclopedia that comes from agent.
Leave, guys.
Lastly, Mr. OT, before I leave, I'm saying this for the last time. Don't mention Chiefs and CAF and CAF, please. Don't mention Chiefs. Leave Chiefs. Chiefs is the only team in South Africa that went play to the final with a FIFA ban. Others go to semi-finals with disallowed goals.
Okay, for time. Let me bring in Agent. Welcome to the show, my brother. How are you? Hey.
I'm good, man. How are you?
Hi, but I'm great. 5-0. How do you feel about this game?
You see, that's starting me. I'm just there relaxed, But since they want encyclopedia,
oh no,
we must deliver. No, man. But I think let me start off by the most important things and say that you would remind me who said this, but I think is one of the coaches or commentators. He said,
"Oh, Smarty, mute there, Smarty." Okay.
I want to say give him the time, but anyways, he said something along the lines of that rugby is a hooligan sport, played by gentlemen, while football is a gentleman's game played by hooligans. And I think we underestimate the security concerns, you know. We don't say to a president that someone is attacking him, we take it lightly, you know. So I think we've lived in an era where we should take things very seriously, especially security concerns, Ellis Park disaster and everything like that. You know, we've lived through those as a country, so we have to be very, very careful, you know. And like I was saying, even if there's no harm, the way he was holding or jumped on the guy, what if, you know, he was heavy and he's jumping while holding his neck and he falls down? Who are we gonna blame, you know? So I think as a nation we shouldn't see those kind of things. And also you mentioned in the point that we should look at it from the referee's point of view. You know, he has been through Africa, he has seen things, you know. So when you travel Africa, he sees a lot of things. So I think we have to be very careful about that. Now, Musisi Sinatlari, bolo ga ena nnete, and I always say that show me dishonest, show me football fan, I'll show you a dishonest person. You know, we should add a quote to that, because the truth of the matter is all the games prior this game, all the games Tebza played, he was not up to par, including Bafana games. You know, and we had to understand that maybe it was a long season, you know, maybe resting him did him a world of good, even though he doesn't see it himself, you know. And again, one thing that we're not crediting Umangova for is he has built a fire under him. If Mangova continue playing Tebza, we were going to see an injury Tebza yesterday, you know. And like I say again, it's a case of communication. As a coach, surely you have access to Sundowns, you know. You have access to Mangoba if you want to, you know. It's just a simple message to the coach, or even an email, whatever works, you know, spokesperson to Sundowns can speak to Mangoba about the situation, and then
tell it, mute there.
Yeah, and then you sort that out, you know. So I think there has to be better communication. But again, like sometimes I always say that he's an old man and white and privileged. So sometimes we have to consider that maybe it is in his nature to speak recklessly. And I think also we should be fair. If and when Mangoba responds, we should be fair to him and say he was provoked. If he responds in the way that you don't like, you have to be fair on him, because now the expectation is we want Mangoba to be the bigger man, but who is the bigger man between the two? Or who is supposed to be the bigger man between the two, you know? And we're going to say Mangoba is arrogant, but we're not calling Bruce arrogant. So we have to be fair on our assessment. And I think lastly, I was very impressed by the Drew boy, the Rooks boy. He just needs Sundowns a polishing school. You know, I heard some people mentioning what. No, there we take you to polishing. We take you, you know, people mine and give us the diamonds, we polish them and make jewelry. Not others where, you know, you take diamonds and you destroy them. So I think it needs Sundowns polishing school in that sense. And I had some galactic coast cases and what cases. Don't. What case are you seeing? A case of 8 leagues in a row. 8, imagine. Some are celebrating 3 cups in a row. Some are celebrating 8 in a row, including this one, obviously. You know, so I think let's not mislead the nation with the big fancy English. And on English, I heard someone saying Bruce built South Africa. I would say he assembled. I won't credit him with building. assembling, sure, but building, I'm not so sure. So I think we should use the Queen's language proper, and we should respect the Queen's language the way it's supposed to be spoken. But otherwise, no complaints from my side. Happy with the 5-0 win, and ironically, they were scored by a team or players from a certain team, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm going to imagine. I think Stars Day, what is his name? Optajabu needs to tell us when last did that happen, because some are claiming that someone is the GOAT, but you know who's the real GOAT. A topic for another day. Cheers, man.
Hi, Mara, you came here for violence. No, agent, thank you so much. I'm gonna let Tyler come in before I close. Tyler, I'm going to give you 2-3 minutes. Just tell me what's on your mind. Do you want to jump in with the Mokwena thing as well?
No. There's a question you ask about what is it that they can do tomorrow on the game. Maybe touch on the Mokwena just a little bit, but not too much on it. But I think Agent mentioned that there's about 4 to 5 players that team didn't bring to South Africa, and I had an opportunity to look at those players. And tomorrow we're in for a fight. Those guys are not gonna let it go. But I think tactically, Hugo must change Obas and replace him with that Leroux boy. I watched that boy. Oh, he's very smooth on the ball. He's a marvel to watch. His first touch, a first touch of a player, OT. As football fanatics, when you watch the player's first touch, it tells you a lot about the player, his development and understanding of the game. So when I watch that boy, he's a marvel to watch. I think if we can put him with Mokwena, think about Mokwena. Maybe you replace him with Relebohile, take him out. And also Motaung must not push up too much.
How? Tyler? Tyler, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
No, go on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, okay. No, I was saying Motaung must not push up too much, because if you watch that game, they almost scored there because they exploited that position Motaung, because he was pushing up, and you had Dotli Ukekan had to sweep to cover for Motaung. Dotli had to now cover for number 4 position Kikan, and Modiba was left with 2 players to mark, and they almost scored. So those things, they need to look into them. And the defense communication is critical, man. In that game, we've seen some breakdowns there. Even yourself, you were also worried about that. So I think those are the pointers. But coming back to Mokwena, someone said Mokwena doesn't have a position at Sundowns. Guys, careful. You are talking about one of the talented midfielders in South Africa, arguably in Africa. That player is a versatile player. When he was playing at Rulani, the thing is, he can fit in any formation. If you are a defensive coach, he can fit. If you are an attacking coach, he can fit. So even with these 2 goals, he's showing you, Coach Manova, that I can play the type of style of football you want. I can play push up as an 8, push up as a 10, assisting those guys there and score. And half of the guys that he's playing with them at Sundowns. So you cannot now say no, it doesn't have a place to play in Sundowns. There's no way. And why do you push his value up? Let him leave, Galong. Let him go to overseas if you don't have a space for him. Let him go overseas. Thanks,
No, Tyler, what I'm saying. Okay, guys, look. Firstly, 110,000 likes. I like that a lot. Thank you so much for everybody that's been tapping. Thank you so much. And then Lindo's show is going to start at 9 o'clock. So Lindo Pep at Lindo Pep, you can watch his show on that side. Okay, this is what I want to say about this game. I want to start it off. I got into trouble on Facebook for this, but I still stand by my words. I'm going to start it off like this. I don't think this was a classic Bafana performance. I don't think this was Bafana at their best. I think we didn't create as much going forward, especially in the first part of the game. I think in the second part of the game, Congo went to a back three, and I think they were trying to close the gap. So we were good enough to get our goals through our set pieces. First things first, set piece, an incredible goal by Debza that came out of nowhere, and another set piece. Not to say not unearned, but that changed how the game was going to be played going forward, right? And I don't think that was through our incredible play on that side. Second half, when Congo made those changes, that's when we started playing, because we started realizing that there's spaces. That's where you saw your Apulis dropping back and playing balls through. That's where you saw Mokwena start shining. That's where you saw them start playing with a little bit more tempo. They started getting into the game, right? And that's where they put them under pressure. The only problem was, even later on in that game, when we did push, there were chances that Congo could have taken. And I know they didn't. I don't want to make it seem like Congo was playing out their skin. But it's those ones where you worry about in the future and not necessarily in this game. But what I do want to say, though, is the one thing I have enjoyed the most about this Bafana team is it doesn't matter if you come and sit back and defend. It doesn't matter if you come and attack them. It doesn't matter if you're playing possession. It doesn't matter what's happening. They win. Hugo Bruce has won just over half of his games. I mean, 37 games played, 19 wins, 12 draws, and 6 losses. That's an incredible thing. I like that it doesn't matter what I'm speaking about, that it didn't look good at times, or this or that, and that player and that player. They win. So, coming from a place where we were struggling to beat Lesotho, right? That is something, Eswatini, right? No disrespect to them. Coming from that place to now, we have to give credit. We can question, you can criticize, you don't even have to like him. But the fact that this Bafana team is doing what they're doing, I think is incredible. I think Congo, having come down from that 2-0, had a choice to make, and they chose to come at Bafana. And I don't think Bafana is the type of team that you come at. You can ask Namibia, you can ask Morocco about going all out to try and attack Bafana, especially at home, right? When you speak about the referee and the stadiums, I look at it from the overall picture. So the overall picture is that these are AFCON qualifiers on the African continent. And there's things that have happened in countries all over. We've got our own stories. There's other stories across Africa about the danger of things going wrong in a stadium. So for me, I believe, and I don't know if this is true, but I believe that the referees and the officials and all those people, the match commissioners, were told that, guys, the moment you see something happening, close down that game, because we don't know where it's going to go from there. You look at what happened with Upodlela. The fan jumped on Upodlela. Like somebody said here, if Upodlela falls and breaks something, or falls or something happens, let alone the danger of a fan coming in with something. But imagine if he falls and breaks something. How do you look at Dr. Irvin Khoza and say, your player was sitting on the bench, now upugile. So you have to watch for those things. And I think it was the greatest course that was taken. The problem I have is with SAFA, the match is sold out. It's in the Eastern Cape. Fans are going to be excited. We saw what happened. Go Freestata. You know, fans are going to be excited. Rather, have all of the things you did after that time ready before it breaks down so that we can all watch a good game. Imagine if there was no control that was kept there and more fans came in and more fans came in. what was going to happen? Maybe we don't even get that game. So I think Safa took it very lightly. And from the moment they knew that that game was going to be sold out or whatever, they should have covered those things for me. And then lastly, hi guys, we don't know. I don't know what Mangoba said. I don't know what Tebza did. I don't know if Hugo Bruce has spoken to somebody. I don't know. But the moment it lands here, the moment it lands, and now we have the narrative, it creates undue pressure. It creates undue influence, and a lot of people now have a say on the thing. That now, when Coach Mangoba, best believe, when he goes out for the next press conference and he has to sit in front of those people, instead of having to deal with whatever's happening inside the club, now he's going to have to deal with a third party who's a very important player in the South African game saying something. Right? It's how do you discipline if that's the case? How do you keep control of your own house when there's people from outside who are very important, who are speaking to the people that you are speaking to? So if I am benching Mokwena for my own reasons, whether it be discipline, whether it be whatever it is, that's my latitude as the coach. I did a video after all of this came out, or after the benching and all of that, to say, but it's up to him. He doesn't even have to have a reason. But now you have that person who comes to your club backed by somebody else, somebody who's not even talking to you. And maybe it goes back to the communication and the problems that happen in South African football because communication is broken. National team coach should be able to speak to a club coach. Club coach should be able to speak, and like it should be the easiest relationship, number one. But yet we see all the time in our football, Safa says something, PSL says, that's not true, we don't know what you guys are talking about. PSL says something, Safa. It's just communication breakdowns all over the place. And I think you create too much drama unnecessarily when you guys could hash it out. He said after the Kaizer Chiefs thing, when he mentioned Kaizer Chiefs and them not changing or whatever, do you know what he said the following week, I believe it was? That I need to call Unseki and sit down with my colleague. And I'm like, Marakabe, you should have just spoken to that guy day one. The coffee should have happened day one before you go out and speak outside. But anyway, that aside, I think tomorrow is going to be a very interesting game. I, for one, don't think that Congo is going to be that strong coming out of it. I think home ground advantage will play a little bit into this. But Bafana, depending on, I think a lot's going to depend on how Congo is going to approach this game. If Congo comes out and believes that they can take on Bafana and they want revenge and all of that stuff, they're going to get clapped again. You're looking at a 2-0, 3-0, and I think you're going to see the best out of Mokwena, out of Apolis, and Reyners. Reyners is going to come in, so that's going to be a much faster front three than what Congo dealt with in the first leg, since Foster is injured, right? If they come out and they also defend, it's fine. All we need to do is to stay patient, take our time, and then we will score when we need to score. Congo is in a very weird situation, so I think it's going to be up to them how they're going to attack us. But to be fair, like I said about Uprus, they win. They play, they win. Clearly, he sees things that a lot of us don't see. Clearly, he understands that team. He understands African football. He gets it. I think it's about time that we back him. And even if we question things about him, you can't question the record right now. So well done to Hugo Bruce and Bafana for the 5-0. I think it's the first one in more than a decade, if not two. Well done to them for winning that game. And we're 3 points away from qualifying out of the group in order to get into the AFCON. Another AFCON qualified for. Last AFCON we came third. Maybe we do a little bit better now. But thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Monday to Thursday, 7 p.m. I am here. If Bafana, Banyana, Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, Banyana Style and UWC in the Champions League are playing, we're going to be here watching. So tomorrow I'm going to be here at 6 p.m. We're going to watch that game. together, and you can jump in and we can have a conversation. If you want to watch any of the previous episodes, they are available in full on YouTube. So I'd appreciate it if you'd follow me here, but also subscribe on YouTube. We have a WhatsApp group, an official WhatsApp group. If you want to be part of that, there's the link in my TikTok profile that says YouTube community. And then also on YouTube right now, if you're watching, click on subscribe and click on join. Then you'll gain access to the WhatsApp group, and you can have 24/7 access to me, 24/7 to agent, Bolindo, Bamangmang. It's an incredible place where we have conversations literally all day. So if you want to be part of that and you want a little bit more, 2 hours might not be enough. There's a lot that's happening on that side. So guys, Lindo should be starting his show just now, or he has started his show. So please head on over to him too. We support each other. And thank you for supporting me. Watch the content when you drop it, guys. Watch it, share it, do all those things. It really does help us content creators. It's been incredible. Thank you to those in the comments. Thank you to those on the panels. Tyler, Masbu, Conti, Vidsman, Emanuela, Talefang, Maskale, Crazy T, Spiwe, the Pirates fan, the new Pirates fan, Lindo, and Malume Kuto. Thank you so much for the gifts on that side. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. I will be here watching the Bafana game, and you guys will be able to come in and analyze with me. It's been great. Bye, everyone.